At the end of your career, how can we make sure you leave a legacy that's positive and fruitful? That's what Clayton Christensen, the innovator who created the term disruption, answers in his book, How Will You Measure Your Life? Unless you manage your priorities mindfully, your time and energy will be consumed in firefighting the most urgent priorities. We read the book, How Will You Measure Your Life by Clayton Christensen, and will break down Christensen's top strategies for how to navigate all of these competing priorities and come out ahead with a more fulfilling, balanced, and purpose-driven life. Real quick, for those of you who don't know us, we analyze business frameworks and summarize business books to stay on top of the latest business strategies. Speaking of strategy, Clayton Christensen was a former Harvard professor and author of what the Economist called the most influential management book of his time, The Innovator's Dilemma. Christensen offers concrete theories from the world of management that can help execs find direction and purpose in their professional and personal lives. His techniques have been successfully used both in organizations and in the personal lives of many of his students. Employees are not motivated by financial incentives. Frederick Hertzberg's two-factor theory says that compensation, status, job security, and work conditions are hygiene factors necessary to not hate your job. But job fulfillment comes from motivators like challenging work, recognition, responsibility, and personal growth. Careers that are rich in motivators are highly correlated with financial rewards. The reverse does not hold up. People who find a job that's meaningful to them have a distinct career advantage. They can put their best effort forward every day and soon become very good at what they do. Christensen interviewed Professor Henry Mintzberg, who says that there are two ways in which strategy is formed. There's deliberate strategy, which arises from conscious, planned action based on anticipated opportunities. And then there's emergent strategy, which emerges from day-to-day decisions to pursue anticipated opportunities and resolve unforeseen problems. If company leaders make an explicit commitment to follow the emergent strategy, it becomes their new deliberate strategy. Professor Amar Baday's work shows that 93% of all successful companies had to abandon their original strategy and pivot. When the right strategy isn't evident in the initial stages of a new business, investors must be impatient for profit and patient for growth. Once iteration reveals a viable strategy, investors must then be impatient for growth and patient for profit. Many high achievers believe that they must have a deliberate strategy for their career and make detailed 5-year plans. But this makes sense only when your current career trajectory provides a good mix of hygiene and true motivators. If you haven't found this balance so far, adopt an emergent strategy of quick experiments and pivots. Experiment and iterate fast until you find a trajectory that works. Then flip to a deliberate strategy. Remember, your strategy is created through hundreds of everyday decisions about how you spend your time, energy, money, and attention. To ensure you're headed in the direction you want, watch where your resources flow. If they don't support your strategy, it means you're not actually implementing your strategy. So new ventures mostly fail because of initial faulty assumptions that were left unexamined. Ian McMillan and Rita McGrath's discovery-driven planning approach avoids this trap. Project teams compile a list of assumptions and rank them by importance and degree of uncertainty. The team then finds ways to quickly test and validate the most critical and least uncertain assumptions. Only then are investments made. Unvalidated assumptions made Disney's Paris theme park a billion-dollar failure. Disney built infrastructure for 33 million guest days per year because they projected 11 million visitors in a year, while other park data showed visitors stayed for 3 days. Disney Paris did have 11 million visitors, but they stayed for just 1 day. The unvalidated number of days was based on other parks with nearly 45 rides. Paris had only 15. Discovery-driven planning is also an effective way to avoid career missteps and validate your most important assumptions. List the assumptions that must hold for you to succeed professionally and find job satisfaction in the role. Rank assumptions in order of importance and find inexpensive ways to quickly validate if they hold before you commit. Customers hire products because they have jobs to be done. When companies can understand the jobs their customers are attempting to get done, they can develop products and supportive experiences that customers seek out every time the job occurs in their lives. You can use the jobs to be done framework to understand what's most important for your significant other. Just like companies try to understand what jobs they perform for a customer, figure out what jobs to be done your partner wants you to fulfill in their life. These jobs are often different from the jobs you think they want from you, and it's easy to mean well and get it wrong. For a healthy relationship, identify your partner's core jobs to be done from you and do them well consistently. Don't forget, you can read the full book summary of How to Measure Your Life with the link in the description. And if you have a question, drop a comment and we'll try to answer as soon as possible. To ensure that your child makes good life decisions, create a family culture that prioritizes core values and reinforces them through shared activities. Use the capabilities framework to plan what resources, processes, and priorities your children must develop to face future challenges. A child's resources include time, energy, knowledge, talents, and relationships. Processes include the way they think, question, collaborate with others, and solve problems. Priorities will determine how the child makes choices. To put it another way, resources are what children use to accomplish goals, processes are how they do it, and priorities are why they do it. While priorities are the most important skill parents can teach a child, processes are important too. Here's a good example. Nolan Archibald took a process-based path to become the youngest ever CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Instead of taking prestigious roles, Archibald deliberately chose jobs that would give him experience to become a successful CEO. After business school, he turned down consulting offers to operate an asbestos mine in northern Quebec, as he wanted to learn how to lead a team under challenging conditions. At the age of 42, he became the CEO of Black & Decker and stayed in that position for 24 years. Like Nolan's unconventional path, children learn processes when they're challenged to solve novel, complex problems by themselves. Encourage them to stretch for out-of-reach goals and help them pick themselves up and try again when they fail. Identify what experiences your children will have to undergo to develop processes necessary to succeed. Then, engineer opportunities to develop those capabilities. Lastly, culture is the unique combination of priorities and processes within an organization. Every time employees tackle a problem, they also learn what the organization's true priorities are and the processes to execute them. Build a robust family culture to shape your child's priorities and ensure they make the right choices in life. Actively choose which priorities matter to your family and engineer the culture that supports these values. Culture in any organization is formed through repetition, so design and repeat activities that reinforce family priorities. Repeated activities lead to a clear sense of what the family prioritizes and what really matters. The process of finding and articulating your purpose in life is not an easy one. It takes time, repeated iterations, and sustained effort. But it is worth spending that time, as your purpose is likely the single most valuable piece of knowledge in your life. In the long run, clarity about your purpose will trump any domain knowledge or skills, as it's likely to be applied multiple times every day for the rest of your life. For more insights from How to Measure Your Life, check out the link in the description. You'll also gain access to other business book summaries. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, you can gain more business frameworks and book summaries from our library. Just check the link in the description for more.